What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a mixtape by USDA, basically Jeezy's old group from like the mid-2000s. Basically this product is called CTE or Nothing, and it came out in the winter of 2011. So the thing about this product here is just the fact that I recently noticed that USDA had a series of other mixtapes. I particularly thought that this was kind of like a sub offshoot of like USDA from like the mid 2000s as far as this was going to happen. I know that they at least dropped the album Cold Summer as far as this pitch going to happen, which came out in the spring of 2007. I reviewed that back in 2023. It was just the pitch. I always wonder what happened to that particular group. So apparently they had more products within the pitch. They did drop some mixtapes. I don't know if they dropped before 2007 when their album came out, but at least between 2008 and 2010, 2011 or so, they had some products just within those fairs. Now, particularly it's not as full bound the USDA from like the cold summer days. At least Slick Polo is still affiliated with USDA up to this particular point, but Blood Raw had kind of vanished. I think he left Jeezy's CTE label somewhere in like 2009, 2010, somewhere within those fairs. So unfortunately, he's not still on here, so you don't have the original kind of de facto group that you had in 2007. But at least there's some new members on here. I'm not sure as to who they are and the particular pitch behind it. The information on USDA nowadays is kind of sparse just within the pitch as far as saying that this particular mixtape is over 14 years old, and this within the pitch that is just kind of within the format that mixtapes are becoming a lot more swamp. But I look after it, just being able to say Jeezy is on here a number of times, which is some pretty excellent fare. He doesn't there's some songs that he's on the chorus on pitch just like that, but he does drop more than a few verses on this particular album. This particular mixtape. This mixtape is a classic here. Out of the 12 songs in this particular mixtape, I recommended all 12. So it's just on the pitch as far as saying that easy enough, classic to be able to get hand over fist. This is just primary Jeezy. The thing about this particular project compared to like a certain aspect, Jeezy was kind of a little bit more seemingly kind of beleaguered in 2010. It seemed like the concept is just more grit that he particularly had that year, because originally he was going to put out TM 103 in 2010, but it didn't come out that year. It's just kind of the fact that some of the singles didn't chart as heavily. But this particular mixtape kind of just sails right over the concept of the hardships that Jeezy had in 2010. It's just the pitch that it particularly just capitalizes on trends a lot better, and just kind of the concept that particularly this mixtape doesn't have like a hit single to really anchor it, which it probably could have used, but it's just within the format that this particular group does a lot of things and it just capitalizes on some trends. Like there's a little bit of moments on here of like Waka Flocka, Slim Dunk, and some of those type of folks' drill that was kind of prevalent in 2010, 2011. There's some moments on here that are just leftover from like the 2007-2008 days of like Recession and Rocco's Self-Made, some of those type pitches. Jeezy's Recession, Rocco's Self-Made, just leftover formats that particular fair. Some Drummer Boy beats on here, some Midnight Black beats on here. So it has the particular product of just kind of melding things between like 2007 to about 2011 as far as those formats kind of happen, but it does it with more salient sense compared to like the way Jeezy kind of was. I mean, it's not like Jeezy was flopping in 2010. It's just kind of format that the shift of what things had happened as folks are focusing on Yo Gotti, Waka Flocka, Meek Mill, Gucci Mane, some of these type of folks within the pitch behind. It's just kind of the product that it seemed like, just like T.I. was kind of getting shoehorned out of his own genre, Jeezy was another pioneer that was seemingly getting shoehorned out of his own genre in 2010, 2011. But this mixtape doesn't showcase that whatsoever. It's just prime type form. Jeezy got his swagger back within these type pitches. The only thing this particular product just lacks within any sort of sense is just a single that probably could have had some chart appeal. But other than that, it's a classic here. Just being able to say, just look after it. Slick Pulla has some good vibes about this particular product here as far as those formats kind of go. Slick Pulla has some good formats about this product as far as those formats going to go, and these other two cats on here are pretty good as well. So I look after just being able to say I like the particular pitch about this product. Basically, it would damn near be like, in a lot of senses, this is like a pretty relatively secondary in terms of the prospect of wondering if you question, if you like USDA, and you always kind of wonder what happened to them after Cold Summer. It's just kind of the pitch that more or less there was just kind of like label problems just within the pitch that album really kind of flopped after like not necessarily flop, but just kind of got like swept under the rug after like White Girl from the spring of 2007 wore off. Like Corporate Thuggin' didn't really chart that heavily, and then there was like an attempted third single, I want to say, that didn't chart that heavily either, but just didn't have much lastability. And it's just kind of the pitch that after Blood Raw left, it was just kind of the pitches that some of those type of formats, it just kind of the label problems and just the format. I think in certain senses there might have been originally going to be a second album from USDA, but it just didn't happen. But this mixtape is a classic. Just be honest, it has the appeal, and I am going to get to some more of their mixtapes as far as those formats can happen, including some of the ones that have Blood Raw on there. So it's just some pitches as far as saying, but I look after this being, I'll say, so yeah, simple enough to say because I recommend all this. Simple enough to be able to say because I recommend all the songs. It's a simple enough package to get to this here. So Go Dumb is a real nice one. Now this is just typical kind of banner Jeezy within the aspect. It's like a throwback to mid 2000s kind of DJ drama mixtape Jeezy. I would definitely feel like here just a stock kind of dope day grind. I had to say within the aspect of it, just another dollar, another day, another dollar type prospect within the format. So if you particularly know songs by Jeezy, like when you think of some of those type of ones, like some of the songs he did off of Prime Minister and just overall aspects like Circulate and like Trap Star, definitely Go Crazy, some of those type ones. Just feels like a typical type format, Corporate Thug and off the Cold Summer album. Just one of those typical kind of this one is more rooted in 2000s type fashion more so than the 2010s type trends, but it's just a good, this is routine kind of Jeezy within the aspect, like good type stuff from like what you know from him as far as this pitch kind of happens. So it's just the banner type highlight that this is vintage type flavor within the aspect of it. So something like Mr. 17.5, some of those type. This is like Trap Star, Mr. 17.5, some of those type pitches, just tons of those, wordplay, just a bunch of pitches like that. I'd have to say just with the aspects of typical Jeezy there. I'd say the lick is the nice one here. I do appreciate the concept behind this particular one. It's like a Liddy kind of Drummer Boy beat to definitely get here. I'm glad that Drummer Boy was on this particular project. I'm glad it's because the format that Drummer Boy kind of phased out after about 2009, 2010. So it's a good type pitch that Jeezy was still fucking with them in like these early 2010s type affairs because Gucci Mane, Waka Flocka didn't fuck with them as much. Folks like that, Yo Gotti, some of those type of folks is full bound. I mean, I guess Yo Gotti did, but he kind of dissipated later. Liddy Drummer Boy beat, nice bass about this particular song, some stunt commerce to kind of get here within the aspect of it, just kind of a mixtape primer for getting supplies, pitches like that. So just getting some stuff done within the pitch, like the concept of the song says, hitting legs, some of those particular type formats, just the aspect of getting like tasks done that particular format of like the work shift and hustlers, makeshift, some of those type fairs, but just kind of within the pitch. I would definitely use this as like a segue into like getting some concepts of getting like some red cups, some hard liquor, some of those type formats, just like the pitch, picking up like a box of donuts, box of beer, some of those type fairs just within the pitch behind it. So it's good type fair, just in like a nice sense, pretty glitzy type beat on here. Straight Drop is a quality one. It's like a basic, moist, and exotic kind of strip club and after hours heat to kind of get within the aspects here. Slick Pulla kicks off this particular song. It's a good aspect. Get some of these like a good dance club mix off. So those formats kind of have so just real good heat, just to miss like the aspect of just kind of seedier type nights or just more sludge and sleaze with an aspect, just like the aspect of this particular tone. But this has in like a particular kind of tropic type sense. It's a little bit more feels like a summer vibe, but just amidst like the demon time type hours within the pitch behind. So just the after effects of just being in like the neon living pitches like that, just some more after hours type product, just good cool cat type vibes within the pitch behind it. CTE or Nothing's a quality one on here as far as this first going to go, and this is the song that caps off the mixtape. It's a good type fare within this. Like a nice thump about this song, just some even kind of makeshift noise going to get here. Pretty simple type song, just basic and plain as far as those formats going to have, but it is a real nice one. It's like some extra thoughts, kind of some ruminate pitches like that. Just a good song and has some simple errands too as far as those formats going to go. So I just look after it. It's kind of one of those spare type ones, just kind of the pitch of it's kind of a vanilla kind of cruise around within the aspects of it as far as those formats kind of goes. Just the pitch like typical kind of this usual kind of Target, Starbucks type commerce. Not so much Target, Starbucks, but just the pitch of like almost blue collar within a sense, just rather melded and just kind of more simple within the aspects as far as those fairs can go. But good type pitch. Fuck That Money Up is a quality one as well. It's like a glitzy kind of night getting fast type tune within the pitch behind it. It's more blurry within the aspect of it. Just really in the enjoyment of just being amidst the heat of it. Some rave heat to definitely get here. Late shift kind of grind within the pitch behind it. Just kind of some hustle in the after hours like the pitch as far as those formats going to go. Just some fierce enjoy to kind of get with it. So kind of a hustle song. Jeezy's pretty good at doing songs like this of getting to like some late shift kind of grind, but also having the format of bottle pop and pitches like that. Just kind of the aspect as far as saying is kind of work and play in the same fashion as far as those formats going to go. Just if you do hustle late and get to some of those type of formats, it's still being amidst that clockwork kind of mentality, but still having the format of disc, having some enjoyment along with it as far as those formats kind of have. Just being able to have that dichotomy of blending some of these type ones. So it's just from the pitch as far as saying just hustlers makeshift getting towards it, but just the aspect of not being bored and just more stone faced with the pitch. So it just has the format of it, but it is pretty ironclad. Fuck That Money Up is not a slouch song, I'd have to say. Off Safety is a quality one here. This is a pretty glitzy type one. It's like a glitzy kind of cruise around, I'd have to say, with an aspect of it. Just some night surfing, I would feel like here. Just spruced up kind of venue pizzazz on top of that, I'd have to say. So it's just the product is either moving quick or just getting either on the product to get into a venue or already being at the venue. Just the product is some good ambience within the pitch. Just some new era Jeezy within the aspects. So this is a product of a song. It's like the aspect of this particular one as far as the format's kind of happen with it. And just being able to have like that particular kind of something something that's an interesting spin for Jeezy as far as these pitches going to happen, is because the concept of like, off safety is just kind of a new era type Jeezy, just in the format as far as adapting like styles. That just the pitch, it is something where it felt like Jeezy didn't have. It felt like Jeezy was just kind of more in like haphazard type grounds within the pitch of 2010. I mean, it's not like he was going broke and getting dropped. It wasn't anything close to where he was having missteps. It's just kind of the format that he was just kind of getting shoehorned out of the spotlight within the pitch. But it's just some good type formats. It is still, I mean, he still is making hella money within some of those type formats. It's just some good type glitz to get into some further type hits. There are just some good aspects of just like some forgotten about songs, or just second, or just kind of off the wayside songs that are just some good pitches for folks when folks might have thought that it was a quieter spell for Jeezy, so it works for that particular fair. Look at the club as a quality one here as far as these pitches kind of go. Just vintage kind of 2000s Jeezy, it had to say, with an aspect very similar to Go Dumb, but just not as Don Cannon-esque within the pitch behind it. Just a basic kind of buzz single, it had to say here. Very much like I'ma Do Me by Rocco, some of those type pitches, and definitely reminds like the recession days. So it's just the format, just that typical kind of 2007, 2008 type fashion. Not as haunting and as leery as like particular recession was, some of those type formats. So it's not rooted in like autumn of 2008, some of that type fairs, but it's the pitch of like those songs when you think of songs by Blood Raw like Louie, and you think of I'ma Do Me by Rocco, some of those type pitches. Just feels like in the spring and summer of 2008, Put On, some of those type ones put on by Jeezy, some of those type fairs. It's really missed the pitch of that particular aspect, so just good type formats for that. I mean, it's a quality one on here. It's like a warped and upside down kind of venue. Enjoy to kind of get within the aspect of it. Just a head trip. Definitely about this particular song. Just house party off the chains kind of fun within the pitch. So this is just where it's really getting turned up within the aspect. Just the crazy type factor where it's not, where things are warming up just within the pitch that's already within the fury of it, where you're feeling good in pitches like that. Yeah, I mean, it just has a really warped and leery type production on here. I really like the ghostling kind of upside down type fashion, that particular production fair. I would say turned out as a quality one. This is surprisingly like a Lex Luger beat, real excellent type fair. It's like a spicy kind of early 2010s typical kind of Dat Piff noise kind of get within the aspect here. Just a trendy kind of smoke up, I'd feel like within an aspect of it. Really feels like something Slim Duncan, Waka Flocka, some of those type folks would have done, with like Menace to Society by Slim Duncan, Flockavelli by Waka Flocka, some of those type products. Just Salute Me or Shoot Me 3, some of those type pitches. Or not Salute Me or well, pretty much one of the Salute Me or Shoot Me's from around that particular time by Waka Flocka. Just good song Smoke Up too. Just bells around pitches like that, good type format. Just the bell is kind of lit fest as far as those formats kind of go. So just some house party type noise. Feels just like Grove Street Party by Waka Flocka, some of those type pitches. Feels pretty good to hear Jeezy on like a Lex Luger type production. This was a format that probably was seemingly kind of questioned within the aspect of it, just kind of the pitch of this. Jeezy kind of being on different type trends and just being able to get towards it. So it's a good type format. He feels right at home in some of these type ones. Just a trap pioneer, being able to do some of these type ones with some new era type styles and kind of meeting folks more at like the current kind of trends of what were going on around that particular time. So he doesn't feel like a dinosaur on some of these type ones, some of these type fairs. Just the folks on this particular song like turned out pretty excellent within the fair behind. So just typical kind of trap, just Jeezy on some of that particular type format. Good aspect there to kind of get that. Where the panties at, the pretty vicious one as well. I like the pitch behind this, like a new era kind of ringtone nightclub thunder, kind of get within the aspect here. Just good promo single, I feel like within the pitch of it. Some good kickoffs within the format. So this is definitely one kind of get things within the aspect of the spices that just getting towards it as far as those fairs going to happen. Just look within the pitch as far as saying this just feels like something almost ripped out of like 2005, 2006 primary Jeezy, some of those type formats, but just kind of within the aspect of like getting a ringtone type song just more in 2010, 2011 within the format. So it's just kind of, ringtone was not really like that in 2010, 2011. By that particular stage, ringtones that kind of phased out. Was just kind of the pitch of getting some of that particular type fair, just like a simple kind of Laffy Taffy like song within the pitch behind it, but just throwing Jeezy and the USD folks on there as far as this first gonna have. But real nice one, just really works for like an aspect of like a good buzz type single, promo type single within the pitch. Trying to think of some other ones I haven't talked about on here. I don't think I've talked about Count It Out. It's another highlight just to be able to get. It's like a highlight kind of early 2010s drill, I feel like within the aspect here. It feels like a Lex beat as far as those pitches can happen. I want to say it's actually Count It Up is actually by Midnight Black, but it's still a good type pitch to get this particular format. Midnight Black was from like the Recession and Inspiration Day, some of those type fairs, but a good type pitch to get this here. This like Jeezy and like Waka Flocka kind of ground as far as those formats kind of go. So good type fair. Yeah, I'd say Count It Up just feels like Banner, kind of Waka Flocka, some of those type pitches when you think of like those songs like Offsides by Slim Duncan, Waka Flocka, some of those type of folks. Definitely feels like Offsides. Definitely feels like Love the Gun Sounds. Definitely feels like Hard in the Paint, some of those type pitches within the format of a Distillable kind of bravado. It also feels a little bit like I Don't Like by Chief Keef, some of those type fares. Just that same sort of thumping, kind of pounding bravado within the pitch. A good type fare for that. And then I would look after it here, the pitch behind some of these type formats. Zoning is a quality one. So I like this particular one. This is a real off-kilter kind of one in terms of like the feel of it. It's the same sort of pitch like I Mean It. It's like a floaty kind of enjoying like a good head trip kind of fare within the pitch. Just some late shifts. Definitely has to say about this one. It's kind of a cool cat type vibe within the pitch. Very similar to like straight drops in those type formats. Just the after effect of like some strip club and just kind of night venue kind of retired type sludge within the pitch. Good ambience. This has some dazzling ambience about it to kind of get here, and this like a get crunk kind of mingle within the pitch behind. So this is the format. Some of these actually do kind of blend the lines between house party type commotion and then just more strip club hole in the wall type places. It's just the format as far as saying it's not quite as red cup as full bound as like Flockavelli by Waka Flocka and some of those type folks, but it's within the pitch as far as saying that it is within that community of doing it. It's not the. I like this particular product because Jeezy and these folks particularly do bring it to residential and have the format of disc, whether it is going back to the crib and some of those type places, just having more local kind of commotions, but also with an aspect of having like some step out this kind of a more sleaze type sense. So it just blurs those lines, really has the commotion, just more low key type fashions, and really nails that appeal pretty heavily. It really has the aspect of it. So I look after it here. I think I talked about all 12 songs as far as those formats going to happen. So just to be able to say this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10 just from the pitch, all 12 of the songs. So yeah, the social score I'll probably give like a 9.75 to because I feel like the quality is definitely on here. The fury about this particular product, the fury about this particular product, Jeezy and Slick Polar really go in with this product. They have some good stuff. These new members are not slouches within the pitch as far as those formats going to go. I definitely like the aspect of the appeal of this product. So it has that particular blitz type aspect, but this kind of pitch, I don't think this product had a single. I think if it had, it probably would have been some good commotion. I'm just glad that this product came out within the pitch because it's definitely refreshing to get further USDA as far as this pitch can happen just in the aspect because that was a classic that just felt like kind of a one. I'm glad that the USDA album Cold Summer was not just a one and done as far as those formats kind of go. Now, it was in terms of album formats, but just the fact that they had more products that did have original materials pretty fierce with the aspects. I definitely appreciate the appeal. Everything is on this product minus Blood Raw and a single, so it's just within the pitch. Other than that, pretty much has everything packed to go with an aspect like some social bite and overall venom. The strip club noise, the red cup, kind of house party sleaze, it's pitched like that, some of these type formats. Just being able to say some venue type product, a little bit of makeshift push in there, kind of, then a minor type sense, a little bit of that particular kind of dredgy kind of cruise run. So just an aspect as far as saying 9.75. So in terms of future, like Jeezy, unfortunately, he doesn't mess with as much full bounce slick pull. I'd say at least. I think they kind of are not as much intact as they were back in the day. I don't know what happened to the rest of USDA. Jeezy seemingly doesn't talk about it as much. Jeezy's been but then the mixtape scene is kind of quieter just as a whole as far as those aspects can happen. So it's just within the pitch. But there are a number of these products. I'll definitely get to some more of these now that I know about them just as far as those aspects going to go. But this is a banner type one. Easily up there with Cold Summer. In my opinion, at least right now, this is the second most notable. I mean, I enjoy Cold Summer quite a bit, but I do like this project quite a bit as well. I had to say, it definitely competes with it. Some excellent aspects within the viciousness. It's some overall head trip kind of sleaze pitches like that. Some excellent type fare and just overall nails the social bite and everything like that.